Good afternoon to this Friday's Friday Fuel. My guest today is Earl Ruthman. I'm going to ask Earl to introduce himself. He's been in business a long time, so I'm going to start by saying, Earl, will you tell us a little how you got to where you are today?
Certainly. So I'm the managing broker of Century 21 Circle in Lincolnwood and Morton Grove. Got my license in 1987. I was in my 20s when I got my license. I am what's called a son of a broker. My mom started our company that what has merged into Century 21 Circle. It was an independent company called Leader Realty when I was in junior high. And of course, like everyone, I said, "Ugh, what a terrible business. I don't want to be working until 10 o'clock at night. My phone is always ringing." Never wanted to be in real estate. Sure enough, I've been doing real estate for 35 years now. Great business, great friendships have evolved out of that, and definitely it's a career that's exciting every day. So
Well, that's interesting that you would say it's exciting every day. What is it about the business that after all this time, it's exciting to you?
So one of the cool things about real estate is you never know what the day is going to bring. You know, if you're prospecting every day, you're going to be in front of buying opportunities to develop. You're going to be in front of listing opportunities. You're going to be in front of buyer broker opportunities. And also, as a managing broker, I'm introducing people to the real estate business, and I have to show my enthusiasm for it also.
You said an interesting thing to me. You've been in business a long time. Do you mean to tell me that you're still prospecting on a regular basis?
I prospect every day, and the three things I tell any of my agents are there are only three ways that you make money in real estate. Someone's buying through you, someone's selling through you, or someone's listing, or someone's renting with you. If you're not prospecting for those three people every day, you're just wasting your time.
It's interesting. I had someone ask me in a new agent seminar, and she kind of caught me off guard and said, I'm being overwhelmed. I'm being overwhelmed by all the things people are telling me that I need to do. I need to learn this and I need to do that. What's the primary thing?
As a real estate agent, you have 97 tools that are being thrown at you every single day. And what I say to any agent is you need to pick four tools that you can use properly. You know, we all have a toolbox in our house where it's got a screwdriver, a wrench, a hammer, and a saw, and 97 other tools. Just use four of those tools that you're going to use on a regular basis and don't worry about the rest of them.
What are your favorites?
I love being consistent. So being consistent means if you're a listing agent, you get a listing, you send out postcards, just listed postcards. When it goes under contract, you send out just sold postcards. You're always using your inventory to prospect for new business. You do an open house on Sunday, you have door hangers. Why not, before your 1 o'clock open house, walking up and down the block, talking to neighbors, inviting them to the open house. Don't just show up like, oh, it's at 1 o'clock, I'm here to work.
Yes.
Put your sign in front, go in. You're not working at Sears, you're working in real estate, and we need to be prospecting.
Interesting that you would say that you need to be, the tools you just talked about are fairly old-fashioned.
I believe in old-fashioned, and I will say that the four most successful agents in my offices wouldn't even know how to log into social media. A lot of people are not going to like to hear that, but really to them it's all about making phone calls, doing mail-outs, following up, and they're always doing something that's productive. They're writing a contract, they're writing a listing agreement, they're setting up showings, otherwise they're not going to be in the office.
Interesting. You're in a business that is now in a big flux, a lot of changes happening. What do you see is going to happen with all the changes?
So I think that those who are professional are going to be successful. You and I talked about this before, how we would never work with a seller unless we actually had a listing agreement. And for 35 years I've heard, Earl, you can't work with a seller until you have them sign the paperwork. I'm very comfortable having a seller sign the paperwork. But if you would say to me, okay, go have this buyer sign the buyer's broker agreement, all of a sudden I freeze and get scared about doing it. We need to realize that before you work with a buyer, it's just the law now. We have to have them sign that agreement.
What's going on in your market?
The market is lack of inventory. That's the buzzword these days. It's interesting, but I work in, let's say, 4 suburbs: Morton Grove, Lincolnwood, Skokie, West Rogers Park, in the city, and Rogers Park. I pulled a market statistic last week that showed there were only 40 single-family houses for sale in that whole area. So what that says to me, not to be the bearer of bad news, is if there's 500 realtors working in that area, there's only 40 opportunities to make money. So we're all suffering right now.
Are the people in your office expanding their markets?
Yes, I'm very fortunate that I work with a bunch of upbeat people who think outside of the box. They're doing commercial real estate. They're calling their old clients. They're visiting nursing homes, prospecting for business they're looking outside of the box. And I do believe that there's a drive that forces some people are going to succeed because they have the drive, and then there's a lot of people that are just going to, I tried real estate, it's not a great business, and I'm out.
Yes.
Yeah.
If I had to say, who do you want to pick to work in your office? How do you choose who works in your office?
It's all drive. It's interesting, but I have hired probably some of the most successful realtors in the Chicago area in 35 years. And what I can tell you is I've hired a school bus driver who pulled into my office, said, hey, I want to get my real estate license. I hear it's a great career. She had a handicapped child. She did not speak English as a first language. She didn't have any family here. She needed to make money, and that was one of the most successful agents I hired.
Isn't that interesting? The internal drive is such a hard thing to find, though.
For sure.
For sure, yeah. What kind of education are you doing for your people? Especially now, what kind of education are you doing?
So we're using the best tools. I call it what's the best tools. And the best tools are the tools that get us in front of people who want to buy real estate, sell real estate, or rent real estate. The rest of it is just nonsense. We need to focus on the basics. We need to get out. We need to put door hangers out. We need to do mail outs. We need to not so much tout our personal successes in real estate, but educate the public and what's the right thing to do when you're buying or selling real estate, things like that.
Are you active in your community? Have you found active in community things? Has that been a part of your success?
So part of my success, I believe, is that I'm in probably one of the most diverse offices in real estate that you're going to encounter. I have 40 languages being spoken in my office every single day. My top
Do you speak another language?
I don't.
That's
Pig Latin.
Yeah. There you go. I like that, yeah.
So my top producing agent is an immigrant who came from Syria. My second top producing agent is an Orthodox Jewish lady. My third top producing agent is a man who speaks 5 languages. It goes on and on and on. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just diversity is probably the key to all of our success.
Do they work in their own markets or do they work across markets? I'm always curious
about
that.
What I've found is those that are chameleons and can work with anyone is the trick. There are charismatic people who it doesn't matter where they're from, they manage to connect with you. And one of the funniest stories I can tell you is my first partner in real estate who I work with was from Hungary. She had a very deep Hungarian accent, but that lady used to make 800 cold calls every day. She would just pick up the phone and start calling, and people were charmed by the accent, so it's always interesting. I had another guy who is one of the most successful realtors in Chicago. You may know him. He had his own TV show. He had an Irish brogue, and people used to, call him Lucky Charms and make jokes about it. But that guy turned into the most successful realtor that I've ever met. Yeah.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
What do you see happening in 5 years? What do you want to be doing in 5 years?
I love the business. I would encourage anyone to diversify their business, meaning you get into real estate for a reason. Yes, you can make a good living listing real estate, showing buyers real estate. One of the things that I love is finding flips and renovation projects, which as a realtor, you're always the ground zero for those opportunities. You know, you go into your office and you talk, there's many people that they don't want to show their house. They want to, you know, there's a lot of stuff in there and they're embarrassed, but there's a lot of reasons why people don't want to go the normal route in selling real estate, and you know, you find some great projects.
Interesting. So the idea of helping people build your personal, one of the things that amazes me, how many realtors don't build their personal
That's right.
portfolios.
Yeah, so when I'm hiring a new agent or someone who's transitioning into a real estate career, that is one of the things I ask them is, what are your interests in real estate? Are you interested in just showing buyers? Are you interested in working with listings? Don't you want to build your own personal wealth? And, you know, part of that is buying investment properties, flipping properties, whatever it is. But if you're in the business, you should promote the business.
My first broker I had, his goal was to buy a house a year.
Yep.
A rental house a year. And his contention was, I don't have a retirement plan. That means that when I turn 60, if I bought them at 30,
That's right.
the mortgages are gone, and now I can start living, I can sell it then. And if I have 30 more, I have a lot of years left that I can be liquidating my rental properties.
So I also find those that invest in themselves learn the business much quicker. You know,
Tell me a little bit more about what you mean.
what I mean is they may be looking for investment opportunities for themselves, flip opportunities for themselves. They know how to fix up a house. They know how to find good buying opportunities. And that transitions into good opportunities for the clients that they're working with as well.
Well, that's kind of interesting. So my last question for you is, what are you doing for fun these days?
I do the same thing for fun as much as I can. I love scuba diving. I love sunny weather.
I didn't know that about that.
I love biking, running. You know, I've been doing the same things for fun for 35 years now.
Where have you been? Well, you're traveling some then.
Yep.
Where's the last place you went?
So the last place I was is my mom, who started the company that I worked at, and when I was in junior high, lives in Las Vegas now. I was there with my whole family this weekend.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And we made you come back so that we could do Friday Fuel. Thank you so much.
Of course,
Earl,
of course.
Do you have any last remarks you want to share?
Just keep hustling, guys. That's all I can say.
All right. Thank you so much for being with us. I
course.
appreciate you spent your time with us.
Yep.
Just a note, the views of our guests may not reflect the views of the North Shore-Barrington Association of Realtors.